Okay, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, so I'm pushing it through. Um, so I was asking you where you're from and how's the weather over there? Currently, we have 24 degrees here in Johannesburg. And I was also saying that I will be ending the poll in about, I'd say about another 5 minutes or so, because I want to discuss a few things. First, this is what we're going to be doing today. So you've got the choice of three MCUs, four MCUs, you can see them there. Can you confirm also that you are hearing me, please? Where? And that you're hearing me loud and clear. Okay, I'm going to assume that you can hear me. So right now, the poll is at, the poll is at 67% for the C3 and 33% for the C6. So the C3 is this one. C6 is this one. Now you will maybe notice something that I want to tell you now, and I'm by no way sponsored for this, but all of these are DF robots. They're part of the Fire Beetle range, the Fire Beetle 2 range. This one was sent to me by a Deliberate Geek last year. And I've got two of them, and they are absolutely great. This, I'm sure you all know, is a Dallas temperature sensor. This one is a pH sensor. This one is a TDS sensor, and this one is a turbidity sensor. Now, I have not used this at all yet, so it will be interesting to see how it works. The buttons that you see are pH pH solutions, and this is the form, and it is 22 degrees in the room. I've got a 4, then 6.86, and then a 9.18. For the EC, I have a calibration solution, and it is 1820 ppms. So there, you've got everything that's on the table right now. Oh, I didn't notice that it was all backwards. So yeah, that's what we have on the table right now. Hey, Jiri, nice to see you here. Are you still in Saudi Arabia? Okay, fine. When are you coming back? Anyway, whilst you answer that, let me carry on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a using the framework that I've been talking about and building with you in the last tutorials that I've done last year. I am going to show you I use the framework number one, but I'm also going to start from scratch. All I have, and I will show you that in a second, all I have is empty files that are ready because I didn't want to have to create everything. You'll see the empty. So yeah, that's the plan. Try to do, and I do say try. I've never done it before. This is really live. If I stuff up, I stuff up. It's really about showing you also my process. So regarding my absence over the past 3 months or so, I'm not going to linger on it, but the short version is I've seen two neurologists and a few other specialists. I've been in hospital for a week. Um, and yeah, that's the situation that I'm in right now. It's not over. Plus, I've had my share of drama, which I won't discuss, but it also aided a few weeks. And this is why this is the first, well, live stream and the first video of this year. The planning is as soon as I can. My wife's come on board and she will be editing my videos, which releases a bit of my time. And by that, that means that I'll be able to do more. So the plan is as soon as possible to get to a point where I do four tutorials a month. And I've got plenty things that that I can talk about. I'm sitting with, I think, something like 70 ideas. Oh, and I see that you can't see me. I'm being a little silly. Let me put this back where it belongs. There. Basically, the idea is to do then 4 tutorials a month, or rather a tutorial a week. My rotation is going to be on an 8-week basis. So on 8 weeks, you'll have 8 tutorials. You'll have 1 to 2 live streams. And additionally to that, I will do either a live stream or a video the next day for the release of any new ESPHome versions. The first one coming obviously at 3rd week of February, if I remember well. I'm already playing with the betas, so that helps a lot. So yeah, that's the idea, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it this month, given that my wife is traveling quite a bit for this month as well as January. And then, yeah, that's the idea, basically. So on an 8-week period, there would be 1 to maybe 2 live streams like this one. I would then, as I say, for each release of ESPHome, give you what's up with ESPHome. Also, I'd like to chat about ESPHome and its status today, or rather where it is today, because obviously there's been quite a few things, and I have no insider information whatsoever, by the way. But last year there were some big changes to ESPHome. The first one was the introduction of the Beacon and RTL MCUs. And the Raspberry Pi Pico 1 is still in beta. Now, there is the Pico 2. I'm sure I've got one. In fact, I'm going to show it to you if I can find it. Pico 2, Pico 2, Pico 2. Obviously, I've hidden it somewhere where I can't find it. I can't even find it. Oh, yes, now I know what it is. I'm being silly. So I'm quickly going to pull that one. That one, these two. Okay. So let me show you the Pico, and let me clear my desk first. My area, I've shown you what I wanted to show you. So these can go a little further, and water can get away. And the water can get away, sorry, from here. Okay, so I am going to give you the overhead again, and here are the two. So you may find this hard to believe, but one is a Pico 1 and the other is a Pico 2, I think. I need to check that I'm not lying to you. Yeah, this is a Pico W, and this is a Pico 2W. Yeah. When you look at them next to each other, and let me take them off so that you can see it even better when they're really next to each other. They look identical for all intents and purposes. I've gotten the Pico 2 to work on ESPHome, but it's very limited. If you start putting certain things, certain sensors and so forth, the Pico 2 just dies on you. It goes into an endless reboot. But those are things that I think, and I'm hoping that the ESP team at Nabukasa will start thinking about including, because both of these, sorry, I'm busy putting them together. Both of these are really nice, cheap microcontrollers, and they put it this way: the ESP32E and this, to me, are on par when it comes to power and to not the memory, and this has less, but they're relatively cheap. Here you can pick up one for about $6. Jury just confirmed that I'm not lying. That's about 120 rands. So that you know, Jury lives in South Africa but works in Saudi Arabia. Let me. Nope, not that one. That one. So 3 votes, and we have said I would stop 5 minutes ago. And who is the winner? The winner is C3. Okay. You want the C3? We'll use the C3. I'm going to put the others away. So there is a C3. Okay. I am going to go on the overhead to show you I'm going to connect it. And, well, yeah, let's quickly connect it overhead. And I am going to end the poll. There we are. Love the Pico, but my beef with it is the ESPHome doesn't support MQTT. I agree. That's one thing about the Pico. It doesn't, and MQTT is not something that's specific to the ESP, so I can only assume that it's because there is a that there is something that was built for our library that was built for the ESP and that it never got ported. So anyway, this is a C3. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect it for now. That's the only thing that I'm going to do is connect it. Need a cable. So here is the cable. Is it the right cable? No, it's not the right cable. Okay, this is a micro. Whereas all of the others, sorry, I ain't going to get a micro. This is a micro. And I am going to connect it. So if you've got any problem with audio, please tell me. I am moving my my mic from side to side. And I am going to connect this one into my computer. There we are with a bright light. And it's up. So I've used it before. This is why it's not flashing, but we're going to reflash it from I need to get used to do live streams. So I'm going to reflash it from scratch. Wonder why that one is gone crazy. just let me. I just want to check the feed to the stream. Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay, so this is how I'm going to present it today. Usually, I do everything in 720p, but because I'm using two screens, or I'm splitting the screen at 7020p, it becomes too small to work with. So you'll forgive me about using full HD. So we said we were going to use a C3. I am going to just bring in the C3. Yes, we want to move it. And there it is. So let me open the file for you to just show you what the file looks like. You can see there is nothing. So do you want a little bit of music? Because there are times where I'm going to be quiet, or do you just want me to carry on? I really need somewhere where I can see what's applied, but right here. Okay, so Jerry says I have a couple of Picos that's directly of a single cell lithium lipo-ion battery. No need for regulators. Yeah, that's one of the things about these ones, Jerry. Oh, sorry, about these ones. And there, it's focused. These are the ones from ESPHome. You'll see that it has a battery in, which can recharge as well, which is absolutely fantastic. They're a bit more expensive, but for what I'm doing, I think it would be nice if the light was coming back. For what I'm doing, I think they're better. I have a whole lot of others. I mean, really. Actually, let me just go on the overhead quickly to show you. This is a whole bunch of others. This is the ESP32 one from WaveShare, which has a battery in and a full Raspberry Pi pinout. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I was playing with it during the Christmas time. And you can see there's plenty here. These are S3s. These are the one that you can put directly into the network. Here's some more, and these are ESP32Es from the ESPHome. There is the bottom of it. Sorry. There we are. So those are the ESPHome. Those are pipetals. And you can see I've got a bit of everything, which allows me to test a lot of what I do for you guys on various different platforms. This is a switch from Sonoff, which I use. I've got two of them on my garage door, and then this one, and I use on my garage door. They're very efficient. Okay, back to what we were doing. So the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is to initiate the device. And let's go back to the screen. It's this button. All right, yes. So the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is to initiate the screen. Okay, you also have. Okay, is this going to be a discussion between you and I, Jerry? Maybe we should just take it offline. Guys, I know that there are 3 people in the stream, and Jerry being one of them. The 2 others, you're also allowed to talk, you know. So, as I say, I thought I'd show you the entire process. I've already picked an IP address and a name. Right now, it's really bare. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and by the way, you're going to see quite a few things here, and a lot of, well, some of it has already been shared on my GitHub page. I'll leave the GitHub details in the in the description. So maybe I should just hold on a second, make your life easier. Yeah, Launchpad. And see, that's maybe easier for you guys to see. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go to my boards and ESP32, because it is an ESP32. By the way, in the you'll see Pico 2 is here. This is my developer development platform. So yeah, I think I've used it before. And we are looking specifically for the C3 Mini by Expressive. And here is the line we need. That is going to go into package. I'm going to close this, come back here, and this is the first line we need. So this is the board. I've got explanations, a tutorial that explains exactly why I've done things the way that I have. But if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the board, but to be honest with you, the board is not enough. And if you want to see, maybe I should show you the board's, this one, the board's code. It controls the light, it controls the framework. It has default ports for I2C and UART, as well as SPI. It has the onboard temperature sensor and a conversion into Fahrenheit. I don't know what's happening with my throat. So, and that is already on my GitHub page, by the way. This specific file I know is on my GitHub page. So that's the first one. Now, what else do we need here? Where is my file? Did I close it? Looks like it. So excuse me for a second and let me window. Yep, there it is. So the next thing that we need is I created a file called settings. And I'm going to show it to you in a second. In fact, I'm going to do it like I did it just now. So those are the boards, and you see there's quite a few. There is quite a few. There is no ESP8266 as of yet, and there was. Oh, it's taking sweet time to load for some odd reason. Yeah, so there is. I was going to say that's strange, and then there is the Raspberry Pis. There is a thing called Common. Why is it taking so long? I'm on the same network. Core. And you will find a file called settings. Now, what we need is this little line over here, and it should not say board, but settings. Let me fix it. Settings, and why it says board. We'll copy and paste. That's the problem. So let me just run it through for you. It sets the name and the friendly name for the device, kicks off the logger, does all of the API work, does all of the OTA settings, MDNS and network. So I disable IPv6 because I don't use it internally to my network. Then there is the binary sensor for status. This is the uptime one. It gives us uptime in a readable format. I found that somewhere, I can't remember. And I tweaked it. And then this is the version. This is the uptime readable that's actually set elsewhere. And then we've got the restart and safe mode switch. You'll also see that all of these, or most of these, will have a web server assignment to them. I know that I did a whole lot of this. I've got an entire, my last video, I think, is about the web server. Oh, Brian from California. North or south? I'm just interested. And how's the fires now? Because I don't see any news about that. But welcome, welcome. Okay, so that's the setting files. This specific setting files can go in any MCUs. There are some tweaks with some of the MCUs, particularly when we're talking about the PyPico. And you have to use the remove command to take out some of the stuff because the PyPico just doesn't like some of the stuff. Okay, so we are going to add this line over here, and then we are going to save this and close it. The next one is send. No, sun is not the next one. Sorry, because we haven't, in any case, we haven't set the latitude and longitude because we haven't needed to. The next one is the network one. So for the network, you'll see there's a bunch of them, including MQTT. We need the Wi-Fi. Am I right? Oh no, I forgot something very important. Time. So you can get time from different sources. GPS, Home Assistant itself, or a RTC. I haven't done the RTC one yet. I do have an RTC. But most of the devices have RTCs built in, the microcontroller. In fact, this one would have an RTC built in. Once it's set and it's got power, even if it disconnects from the network, it will keep time. It's not a big issue. The external RTCs usually have a battery with them, so that helps. Yeah, so let's just put the time. We're going to go and use Home Assistant, and here is the line that we'll use. Oh, and you can use more than one at any given time. Speaking about time. So that covers those. Now we are going to add the network stuff, which I'm just going to put under a small title called network. Not in caps, Pascal. Network. By the way, I will leave this file for you to be able to download it in the master repository. I'll show you where that is a little later. Ooh, time flies. So let's do the network quickly. It's very easy. We're just going to be using the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi file is this one. And I want to go through it with you quickly. Those are global variables for the connection itself and for the radio status. And I switch them over at times so that I can feed back to a screen if necessary. And I do have, currently I do not have a working one, but I do have screens. And by the way, I will have an LVGL tutorial coming soon. I think it's I haven't seen anybody doing any number one. And number two, the power of LVGL is quite something. And I've been able to do quite a few things with it. I have an entire upgrade to the room sensor that actually uses screen with LVGL, and I do not know why. It just refuses point blank to work. Oh, maybe I should actually. No, I don't have the feed into that, but it's fine. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can fire it up. So, and I hope you don't mind that I'm switching like this. This is C, yeah, okay. So this is the C3 we are using right now. This is screen one. This is an S3. It's a Rolls Royce. Actually, I should say it's a Ferrari amongst ESP32s. It has 8 megabytes of SRAM and 16 megabytes of, no, sorry, 8 megabytes of PSRAM and 16 megabytes of storage. And it has a screen attached, as you can see. And I'm sure I can power it up. All I have to find is a power cable, which I do. I have them on hand. Let's hope it's going to pick up. Oops. Let me show you. Yeah, there it is. Not that way. And there we are. So this is the room sensor enhanced. These are feeds that are supposed to come from my inverter for my solar. Unfortunately, I've got a network problem with that. It's on the far side of my garage, and for some odd reason, network is dead there. And this I'm going to show. I'm going to do an entire series of tutorials to show you how to do this. And it's also going to be part of the modular way of doing things. So I'm planning this. I think there are 4 or 5 already planned. So yeah, I thought I'd show you this. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. There we are. And back to our screen. Right. So moving on, those are the normal Wi-Fi things, except that obviously I do everything static. And you'll see that the DNS is not set anywhere. Much. Mic is a bit far. The DNS is not set anywhere. The subnet is, the gateway is, and the gateway is set so that if I want to, at a point or another, speak to a specific IP address on the internet, I can. The rest is pretty standard. I just set the domain to local, which would be the local domain, so it can actually find it. And I use fast connect is true. Now, fast connect on the first time, you shouldn't use it, because then it can see which device it's closest to. And every time thereafter, what it does is that it tries to reconnect to that AP. Now, if you're going to move your MCU, fast connect is a very bad idea. Since a lot of what I do for myself is done on another, a completely different server, and these are done specifically for, or this server is specifically for the stuff that I do on YouTube. Then, it doesn't matter to me. Fast Connect is true. I've got my AP. In fact, you can't see it, but it's behind, or it's right behind over here. You can't see it because it's behind the Lego sets that are sitting there, but it's behind the police station. So yeah, got from 10 news, CFE32, cheap yellow display, 7. Okay. Okay, okay. LVGL is very powerful. It is very powerful. The problem with LVGL, I think, is the implementation into ESPHome because of the nature of the ESPHome is a bit of a problem. It can get very hair raising is the word that I would use. Carrying on with the Wi-Fi, and I've already covered it in one of my tutorials, so I'm going to go a bit faster now. Signal, then I convert the signal into a percentage. These, I do a whole lot of work around them, and you can see here, and this is that lambda is going to come soon when I start talking about templating. And then there are the switches, which talk to the globals. And then there is the internal and interval stuff, the updates to the globals. So yeah, that's my Wi-Fi file. And I think that's basically all we need right now to start up with. I'm not going to kill anything yet. So this is not required, by the way. So I can take it out because it's in my settings file, if you remember well. And oh yes, this I want. This here is something new. It's the web server. It's the settings for the web server, which is new. Don't worry about this. There's stuff that I'm busy doing right now that obviously I will put eventually, and I'll talk about eventually. Had we used the S3, I could have shown you some of that, but right now, no. This is supposed to be web server. Web server. I really need to go through all of my files. Copy. Okay. So I'm just going to put the web server on the network. Well, that's not going to work. Okay. And next, and there we are. Okay, so right now we are ready to do a build. And it should theoretically work. So let's cross fingers, hope for the best. And yeah, so how do we do a build? Because we didn't edit it on here, inside of the web interface, we are editing it using, oh, I forgot to say that we're editing it using Studio Code. And I've mapped it to the share for that server. Oops, for that server. So let me do a build. Finally getting to do a build. So we go install. And what we want to do is it's plugged into this computer. And the first thing, preparation failed. The first thing is going to tell us you have to do this over HTTPS. So we would have to open ESPHome web, which we will. And now why, what's the error and why do we have an error? Okay. I see what the problem is. Yours truly has not. So the web, it's supposed to be networks web server. Network web server. Okay, let's retry that. Oh, and there it goes. So it's going to download a whole lot of stuff. Unfortunately, I'm doing all of this live, so we have to sit through it. And once we sit through it, yeah, any questions? Any questions? Anything that you'd like to know? Yeah, by the way, Jury, I was looking at using a 7-inch resistive touch, but it's a parallel one, and I haven't found, and it's maybe because I haven't looked hard enough, but I haven't found a way to talk to a parallel one. So yeah, the nice thing is that some of them, do I have it here? So yeah, I've got two workshops, and I talk about stuff, and then I don't know if I've got the stuff right under my hand. No, I don't. I don't think so. Nope. Um, but oh, it's finished. So we're going to download the factory format one. Okay, there it is. We are going to, well, we're not interested by that. We are going to connect, and here it is. Connect. And you're going to install, get the file. Nope, that's not where my files are. Just don't look at the mess in here. And let's try to install it. So you'll see that I don't have to press anything or anything. That's because it was initiated in the past. I found, and particularly with this one, which is the S2 Mini, so ESP32 S2 Mini. This thing is a pain. I managed, but it's not very easy at all to initiate for the first time. Once it's initiated, it's a matter of uploading it directly. Yeah, so yes, I was talking about screens. So I want to put a screen in my kitchen that are very similar to the one that I've shown you, which all it does is show the status of the the status of the solar system, the inverter, the batteries, the solar, and everything. I've got it to work. However, it tends to reboot quite a bit. Unfortunately, no. Okay, and that's with the ESPHome, Julie. By the way, so that you know, there is a slight delay of about 5 seconds in between the time that I receive the video back from YouTube. Okay, so it's up and running. Now that it's up and running, I can definitely close this, and we are online, and I'm going to say visit. It's going to ask me for this, and yep. And we should get it there. Okay, so it's up and running. We have a whole lot of good stuff. So Wi-Fi signal strength, good. This is part of the templating that I was talking about, and I will be doing a few things around templating and tricks and tips and tricks around that. So you'll find, for example, that like this, you don't get the temperature and things like that. I'm just going to show you the whole thing. It's a bit overwhelming. So sensor and control, you'll see that, I don't know why it's there. It should actually not be there. It should be part of the diagnostics. So this is the onboard LED. You can change its color and whatnot. There is a change of color. That's the intensity, switch on and off. You can force restart, use safe mode and whatnot. ESP, all of those are pretty standard stuff. But I've broken Wi-Fi diagnostic out, and that's with the web server. And I actually showed you how to do that in my previous video. So that's all the Wi-Fi stuff. OTA is pretty standard as well. Tip with the OTA that I didn't think of like an idiot, and I got caught out, is that don't try to put a file that is more than half the size of your storage on your MCU. or even if it's, yeah, basically half the size would be about it. Basically, you have to see how much is used on your MCU already, and whatever space is left is what you can put. So half-half would work pretty well. And so at least it works. So what we're going to do right now, and it gets a bit more hairy from here, for me at least, is I'm going to... Oh, sorry if you can't hear me right. I'm pulling up stuff because I need some hardware. And I'm just going to pull one of these. I wonder where my previous ones are. I should have checked this before the stream, really. Some that have pre-made. I don't know where they are. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's too big. I'm going to take one of these. So what I'm going to do is, and usually what I do, I've got some pre-made one. So this is, actually, let me show you better than that. Nope, not that one, that one. So you can see that this, but there we go. It goes in and out of focus, obviously. So I'm going to take one of these because these you can't put into a breadboard. I'm going to take one of these. I am going to take, and I usually make sure that I take at least a white or a red or whatever. I'm going to take 3, rip it out, put it back, and we'll do the TDS first. So I am going to switch over to the overhead so that you can see what I'm doing better. So I have white, gray, and purple. The white is going to go into the negative. The gray is going to go into the positive, and the purple is going to be the dital. Okay. Now you would have noticed, okay, why am I not getting anything? Okay. Why is it dead? So OBS does this sometimes to me, where it just won't show you anything. It takes the last image and where is... Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. So I've been talking and talking and talking, and you haven't heard anything. So I'm going to recap what I've just said. So I've put, I took out the book so that I could find an ADC, and I'm using 1.4, and this is 1.4. And in fact, there is it's written 4 on it, which is very handy, I was saying. And I was saying as well, I'm going to do the EC sensor first. And do you want me to do the pH sensor or more? Well, the pH sensor would be it. I know that we're getting close to finishing the 1 hour mark. It's up to you guys. And yeah, you should be. Jerry, do you hear me? Just say yay, nay, go away, Pascal. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to carry on with this. And so I am going to connect. So I was also saying I've got here, I've got a couple of, you don't see them all. Let me pull it a little bit. There we are. So if I put it in frame, so I've got 2 USB-Cs. This is a high power USB-C. In fact, it's a USB-C for my soldering iron. But you can put USB-C to USB-C always. Yeah, the soldering iron was a gift last year from my wife. And if you can afford to buy one of these, they are absolutely incredible. And you can change the tips very easily. And yeah, that's a soldering iron. And let's see the tips. I've got a couple of tips. Other tips. The one that I use mostly is this one. Sorry, I know that I divert, but this is a live stream, and I wanted it really relaxed, and you can see the difference between these two. This is thicker. To do MCU pins, so this is wonderful, really wonderful, because it heats up the pins so quickly that yeah. And this one is a spare one of these. So yeah, and we are frozen again. What is wrong? Where is it? I know you can hear me, and I see that the image is frozen again. This doesn't help. So. Okay, you should be hearing me. Just confirm that that's the case. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do exactly what I did earlier, which is go to one of the other ones, come back to it, and now it works again. I don't know what's wrong. It's, yeah. Okay, and the next thing that I was talking about is the book. So let me put that back where it belongs. The book with all of the MCUs in it and the pinouts, I think, is something that we all should have nearby, especially when we're working with the stuff. So this one, luckily enough, also has a whole lot of detail. I got this straight off the Espressif website, but you'll see there is others. This one came from ESPHome. This one is for the e-paper driver from Waveshare. So yeah, but I keep these things, and and you can see I mark stuff on them just to give you. Let me show you. That's the original S3. That's the S3 from the ESPHome. And you will see that I've got. Oops, sorry, upside down. That I've actually marked it. Marked all the pin that I use. And I've got all of the pins that link to the camera and to the GDI as well, and everything there. So having a little book like this is very handy. I'd recommend it highly. Okay, so here we've got the TDS connected, and I'm hoping I connected it the right way. Here's my power. Now this is not coming through from a machine. This is actual power. There we are. It's gonna, yeah, and the TDS is up and running. So what I forgot to do, obviously, is to do this. And all I'm going to do now, and it's not necessarily the best thing to do because there's dust, because it was in a fish tank, I'm going to do that. Okay, so we are going to go back to the screen. I can close this for now. And we are going to add the TDS. And somewhere in between, what I did is I opened the my file for the TDS sensor. It is, I think it's one from ESPHome as well. No, yes, it is. It's Gravity. So it's one from ESPHome as well. So, yeah. This is what the way that the TDS works. So it's an ADC, and we have to define the pin. In this case, the attenuation, it is in a voltage that we're getting, and we'll sample it every 30 seconds. And it's going to be disabled by default because it gives us voltage. The voltage is not very friendly. So I haven't done this part yet. But yes, this returns a parts per million, which we know from the calibration solution, we should have 1,820 parts per million. So how do we use this? Pretty much like all of the sensors all of the sensors that I've created, or sensor files that I've created, we copy it. We go back to our file, sensor package. We know that okay, that's it. And we know that it's on GPIO. What did you say? GPIO4, I think, or something to that effect. You see, I forget things. There's the, and we say GPIO4. Yes, it was 4. Good. So we are, it's not 63, it's 4. And we don't have to do anything else for now. So I'm going to save it. I am going to rebuild it, but this time I'm going to wirelessly, invalid value. GPIO4. Why is it invalid? Invalid value. GPIO4. Oh, yes. For some odd reason, I didn't take this line. Oh, I must have deleted it. Oh, no, I didn't enable it. Yeah, so all of these have to be indented in bar 1. Okay, so we'll indent all of this bar 1. And we are going to retry, right? Mm-hmm. Well, complete. You know what? I think, oh, huh? It's total dissolved. Rotation. It's talking about, couldn't find calibration temperature. Oh, yes. I know what this is. Okay, fine. So I just need to, so it can't find an external temperature. I'm going to use temporarily, I'm just going to take that out, the internal temperature. So yes, I was supposed to connect the, or actually all I'm going to do, I can use the internal temperature. That would be in settings, which would be in core. Where is the temperature? Oh no, it's not in settings. It's in the board configuration. C3. Right. Sensor internal temperature. That this is the one we're looking for. Okay. So we are going to use that one instead, just so that we can run it. This is what you can do. There, that should resolve the problem. This is why I had this one out. Oh, and you can't see me. This is not good. This is the one I want. Okay, so this is why I did the Dallas out. So let's retry it. And it's going to go and redo everything, obviously. So why am I doing all of this? Obviously, it's part of a bigger project. And what I wanted to do is, so I've started doing some hydroponics. And in hydroponics, EC temperatures, turbidity, and pH are important things. Oh, there we are. Great. And let's refresh it. Yep. So there we are. We've got 874.66. And the solution is supposed to be 1820. So we're off. So now we need, why is this gone? We need to add some things. And to be honest with you, my brain has gone dead. So why? Okay. Where's the offset? So my wife was so kind to bring me some more heat. Yeah. So now what we're going to do, and this is where the ESPHome, not liable if I remember well. The ESPHome website is very useful. It has a whole thing about calibration. Right. Okay. Ah, there it is. Okay, so where is it? Okay. So is it offset? That has. Otherwise, I just go straight to, yeah, no, it's not that. Straight to the ADC. No, not SDC, ADC. Go to the ADC sensor. And hub to digital. Okay, all of this we know. Filters multiply. Where is the calibration? Just multiply deviation. VCC. Okay, multiple sensors. That is just plain weird. Or is it in the sensors? So this is pretty much how I do things, by the way. So I'm showing you exactly how I work. Yes. So calibrate linear. This is the one that I was looking for. Calibrate linear. So we can add in here. Let me show you how to do it the right way. Nah, we'll do it like this. There is a right way of doing this, by the way, as a matter of interest. And it would not be here because obviously each sensor would be slightly different. So the calibration for each sensor would be a little off from one to another. So you would have to do what I call the master file, which is this file. This file here, we would have to actually do that in here. Let me show you how to do it. Except that I can't remember how to do it. So give me a second. I just need to pop for myself. Open. Okay, this is the wrong one. This can get irritating at times. You know what? You're going to see things that you shouldn't. So I've got a little folder called archive here. Look at that. And I know that in my FireBeetle, one of my FireBeetle ones, I've got that code. No, I don't. Is it this one? Where I do modifications. Yes. Oh, is it it? So it's going to be ID blah, 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 extend. So there we are. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to just say sensor. Same. So, yes. Sensor. Okay. And then I am going to say extend. And what we want to do is take this one. Okay. And what we are going to do is extend this ID. So we're extending this ID, right? Right. I haven't gone off the deep end, have I? Go back here. No, it's not here. It's not in the boards, it's in the archives. Extend the ID, and then what we need to extend. Okay, that's correct. So what we want to extend is this, and what we want to do is calibrate linear. So what we're doing is extending a downstream file. And there is one more thing, because it's going to be in filters. You need to tell it that. Otherwise, it ain't going to work. So we are extending an existing file, and we are merging the two together, an existing sensor, and we are merging the two together. So that's what we're doing when we do that. And we are going to say that the reading that we're getting right now, which is, wait, is it that way or the other way? Let me see. Let's go to calibrate linear. Okay. So calibrate linear is, okay, data points. The first one from the sensor. Yes. So we're taking 948. Why is it varying like that? So we're taking 948, and we are saying, no, and we are saying that it is 1,000, what did I say? 1,820. 1,820. Okay, that's basically what we're saying. I'm not going to be that accurate. And do I have, yeah, I was going to say I have an indentation issue. So there we are. Cross our fingers that it works. We're going to stop this. Click here. That's all wirelessly, and off it goes. And obviously something. Length of value must at least 2. Huh? Length of value must at least 2. I've done single ones before. Where is the one for the fish tank? Ah, fish tank is not in here. I wonder where the fish tank is. It's not in templates either. Oh no, aquarium. This is it. Yeah, you can see the LVGL stuff. Okay, that's a PME. That's the pH sensor. Is it in the pH file that I did it? What's the pH file? No, I didn't do. At least 2. Jury, you've got an idea of what it says there, because does it need 2 points, 2 data points? I'm sure I've done it with 1 single data point in the past. Because it's definitely inserted it. You can see the lambda is just on top of it. This is correct. What I can do maybe is try to do the same one twice and see. No, Control Z, Control copy, or just, cheat the system. But I don't think that's the problem, because as I said, I've done it with a single one before. Guess what? Except that it should say 45. Stop. Not 41. That's weird. Anyway, let's just do it wirelessly. Five guys, where are you from? I mean, I see eight of you. That means seven because I'm also one of the guys that is looking right now. Where is the rest of you from? I know Jury. I know Brian is from California. At least it's working. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm just going to close those two tabs. I'm going to refresh this. And yeah, 1784. And it is supposed to be 1820. So something is wrong. Did something change in between? Okay. So I'm going to just rebuild it like that to get a baseline again. Stop. Install. Okay. Just going to have a look. Refresh. There. 874 to 1000. Now there is something very wrong there. We're like 1000 off. That is way off. Okay, I'm going to have to do some research around why it's so far off, because this makes no sense to me. What I can do quickly, if you want to stay online a little longer, it's up to you. So you're talking about doing something like like this. 0 is 0. Or something similar to this. Right now we should have, yeah. So you see, this should be 0 actually, so that you know, because right now it's out of the solution. So this should be 0. Let me just close it. Let's seal it again. There, sealed. So that 12.10, oh, sorry, 0 is 12.10. But that 9, and I should have picked it up, that 944 is way too low. That's 0.6. So we're looking at this, something like this. But as I said, I've obviously closed it. I'm going to have to reopen it. Putting this in here gives me, let's see, yeah, 983. It's way too low. It's like half. So I'm wondering if the settings for the resistance is right. So that would be inside of the TDS sensor. There is attenuation, sorry, if the attenuation is right. Thus, or the calculation may be wrong as well. I'm going to have to dig into this. And I will feedback to everybody what I found, obviously, possibly in the tutorial. So the good thing about all of this is you're seeing exactly what I go through when I prepare one of the tutorials. Is I actually dig and find how to do it. There is a lot of stuff that I know how. And just to give you an idea, and I'm not going to share all of this right now, but I'm going to go through some of my folders. We've gone through boards. We've gone through common. In the core, there is something called debug info. That only works if you're using the only works if you're using IDF. If you're not using IDF, forget it, doesn't work. Sun is just the sun elevation and things like that. Very useful for a weather station. So then I've got the displays. I will go down that when I do the first the templating with displays and then LVGL. That's just a whole lot of colors that are being defined. Nothing grand. Those are fonts that are being defined. And those are glyphs. So that would be icons. So those are just definition files. The only problem is if you've got little space on your MCU, the fonts and the glyphs can take a lot of space, and yeah, you have to be very careful with that. So I would recommend that if you use a screen and that you're going to display stuff, try to aim with something that has 4 megabits of not RAM of storage. Now the name escapes me. Well, I can go and have a look, can't I? Yeah, Flash is the one that I'm looking for. So this one would be perfectly able to do it because it's got actually megabytes of Flash. So Flash is very important when it comes to screens, but memory as well, because a part of it goes into memory. LVGL is very bulky, but you can tell it, okay, don't exceed that much RAM or SRAM. So this one you've seen, the pH sensor you've seen. Where am I now? Yes, so network, Bluetooth, very standard stuff in Bluetooth. There's stuff that I'm busy working on in the moment. Ethernet, very standard stuff in Ethernet. That's for the Ethernet boards. MQTT, straightforward. Web server, I showed you earlier, and Wi-Fi, I showed you earlier. Time, either from the GPS or alternatively from Home Assistant. So then I've got a bunch of stuff, some of which, no, I didn't try that. I've written some stuff as well. That's the material design font itself, the TrueType font. That's just for the Pico LED. There it gets a little bit more interesting. You'll find that there is nothing much in all of these until we hit CAM. This is the CAM definition for the Fire Beetle 2 ESP32S3. And I haven't gotten it to work yet. it gets a little funny. These are the displays. They're all DF robot displays. I've got non-DF robot displays. It's just that I like the DF robot way of doing things because it's just a GDI. You connect and you've got, if it's got touch, it's you've already got the touch as well. SPI, I don't think there is anything yard. There's nothing in the peripherals. Sensors analog, binary sensors, very straightforward. This is what a binary sensor is. Then you've got Bluetooth sensors, and there is one coming up soon. Then all of the I2C sensors that I use. In fact, this specific one, the MPU, is a it's an axis five-way axis one, and I use one to monitor ground movement. So it's not exactly a earthquake detection system, but it's not far away from it. One wire, the Dallas sensor, SPI, I've got nothing in the moment, a new art, that's the LD2410C radar. So yeah, and you'll see there is lots of stuff to do still. So I add, after all of my tutorial or a tutorial, I now add to, and I promise you I will show you, I add to my master. And let's go to GitHub. I'm being a little bit of an idiot right now. Yes, let's go. Sorry. So here. And I'm going to go to GitHub. Yeah. This is GitHub. If you go into my ESPHome, you will find, I think it's in here. No. Where did I put it? Oh, it might be an entire new project. Yes, modules. It's this one. So I made an entire new project, and the scripts are in here. And you'll find board, common font, include peripheral sensors, and so forth. I don't think there is anything in sensors. Oh no, I've put some already. Okay, I've put some already. There is also in here my templates. So templates for the C3 MyTouch, the C3 Expressive, and the WT32, which is the Ethernet one. I'll add the template for the C3, the C6 for you. And what was it? C3, C6, the ESP32E and S3, which I have. Those templates exist. They're currently in my archive. So there's the C6. And let's see what else we've got. That's a E. I've got two different E's. There's one that's got 16 and I think one that's got 8. Then, yeah, I'll put those two as well for you. And I'm busy working on the voice assistant. I've got the output working. In fact, I've got it working so well that I can play music through it from Home Assistant. But I don't have the mic working. So there you are. But this is pretty much my templates. I just need to clean up a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up to this. I'm gonna add stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. But before I tell you goodbye, I know it was a bit. It sounded like it was unplanned. It wasn't unplanned. My plan was to show you how I do things, and how I prepare things. So I think that in this case, in this scenario, I've achieved what I was talking about. And I don't know if you'd be interested in more of these, an hour and a half long, once every 2 months or so, or once every month or so. You'll have to tell me. I know that I want to do a behind the scenes video, but that's not going to be public because you'd be very surprised of what's hidden behind the scenes on that side. And you know what's behind me, but you have no idea what's here. So I want to show you how I do things. I have a wall full of MCUs, quite literally. I know it's hard to believe. And yeah, there is a lot of printed stuff. I'm busy learning how to do 3D CAD stuff as well, so that I can give you some nice little things. I'm going to replace. Got this later. I can disconnect it, but I'm going to replace these because they're very wide. Come on, focus. Yeah, these are very wide here. So what I want to do is replace and do something based on the same. This is a standard. Why is there only one? This is a standard called Gridfinity. And what I want to do is a whole lot of Gridfinity for developments or holders and things like that. So and that I will share, obviously. How I will share it, that's another story. So I'm busy doing that as well. So I'm doing quite a bit of things in the moment, and so there is a lot of things coming up for the channel. I've talked about some already. There's going to be changes, thanks mostly to my wife who has kindly offered to help out. And that's, I'll be honest with you, it's because she's lost a job and she's got time. So yeah, she's going to help me out. And she's enjoying learning how to do video editing. So that's great as well. And yeah, she's going to start getting into that next week. As I said, this week she's traveling for business. So I'll be left unsupervised, which is always a bad idea. So I will bid you goodbye. If you want more of these and in the future, sound off in the comments. That's what the comments are there for. If you want to help the channel, well, you have various means of doing it, but I think the best way would be through Google membership. There is a $5 one that's there. And I know, as I said, for 3 months I didn't put anything up, but I intend to start. It's going to be a ramp up, so it's not going to be immediate, but there are things that are immediate. I will do a video on the ESPHome releases. That's a given. As soon as they release, I think it's the third week of every month. So we are today the 9th, so in 2 weeks. I have stuff that I recorded last year that I can edit in the moment and release. So you're going to get that as well. I am working on the SVGL tutorials series. I'm working on, oh, yes. Would you like me to do a full, and that's going to be a bit of a sidebar one, the hydroponics, from printing the hydroponic tower to telling you where to get the models to All of the TDS and so forth, is for the hydroponics as well, and how to handle all of that. And as a matter of interest, I actually have my first flowers for my tomatoes, and my tomato plants are nearly a meter high. So I'm very surprised it works. I don't have green fingers or green hands or whatever they're called. Everything that I touch generally dies, and here it's working pretty well. So if you're interested in that, I can do a series where I explain what I've done, how I'm doing it, and so forth. In fact, I've just finished printing a second tower, which I recorded the whole of the printing process. And I've got it ready to launch. I've just got I can't find a pump right now. The pump that I want is not findable in South Africa in the moment, but I believe that there is stock coming shortly. So, and show you how all of that is, and take you along with me for the journey. These are going to most probably be 15 minutes each. And as I say, if you're really interested, sound off below and tell me that you'd like to see that. Right now, my grow towers are outside. During winter, I'm going to bring them inside. And to be honest with you, people say, yeah, that must cost a fortune. Yes, if you buy one off the shelf, they do cost quite a substantial amount. Here in South Africa, I couldn't find one for under 7,000 rand, so that's about $350. I've managed to build one, and for basically 2,000 rand, which is $100. 2,000 divided by 20, yeah, about $100. Which is great. That includes all of the plastic. It doesn't include the price of the printer, but I've had the printer for a little bit, so I can't put it in. So yes, that's something that I'm doing. And if you're really interested in that, I can, as I say, I'm thinking of taking you through that journey as well. It's going to be far less formal than the tutorials on ESPHome, obviously. It's just taking you on the journey. So that is something that I'm thinking of doing as well. And I am keeping, things going there and keeping notes and stuff. So, and with my second tower, I can actually show you what I've done and why I've done things. And I'm seriously thinking of doing that. I've got now 2 weeks from tomorrow, where I'm starting germination first. So that doesn't go in the tower at all. So I can explain the tower and do some recordings about the towers first. And then during some winter, somewhere in the northern hemisphere, I'm going to bring those towers inside, which means that I'm going to have to get some grow lights as well. So I've been looking into that as well, and see how that works. Now, Jerry left me a message on the hydroponic, curious about the nutrient stuff. So this is a bit freaky because I bought like 3 liters, so it comes in bottles of 1 liter, and I expected, and they're not cheaper. I can't remember the exact price, but they're not cheap. And I expected that to last me a season. I was going, this is going to be more expensive than buying at the most expensive place here for fresh stuff, which here is Woolworth. And it happens that, no, it's you're talking milliliters. A bottle will last you 6, 7, 8 seasons, maybe more, on a tower of my size. So my container is 20 liters max. So actually I have about 18 liters when I fill it up. And every week, I don't clean it. because it's pretty clean inside. I've got filters. And what I do is I just top it off every week. For germination, you use water, nothing else. Though what I did is put a little bit of nutrient into a spray bottle. Then you've got the grow phase, which is one. There are the nutrients. The 3 bottles are different nutrients, and there are different levels to each. And then that's for the first. I think I went a bit too far for the first month. I think after 3 weeks, I should have switched. Unfortunately, after 3 weeks, I wasn't here. I was in Cape Town. And it rained by itself whilst I wasn't here. I had filled it up to the max. And yeah, I came back, I topped it off. I didn't change the formula. And that ended up with me having Roma tomatoes and Heinz tomatoes. The plants are about 1 meter high, which is a bit freaky. And I've never seen that before. But yeah, I can show you which modules I've decided to opt for on the second tower and why. So, for example, there's a few other things I can show you. I can also explain to you the pains that I've gone through to get to where I am today, and obviously all of the automations and sensors, which the pH sensor here and the TDS sensor here. The unfortunate thing is pH sensors, at least in South Africa, are horribly expensive. I bought this one off Alibaba, well, AliExpress. It took quite literally 2 months to get to me, which was a bit steep. But then again, I paid 20% of what I would have paid here in South Africa. That means I'm going to have to order another one. The rest is all South African based. I can find that here at reasonable prices. So, yeah. If you're interested, as I say, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about bringing you along for the ride. Okay, I'm going to bid you good night from Johannesburg because it is now nearly 10 o'clock in the evening. And until next time, see you. And keep coding, keep playing with the stuff. All right, cheers. And I can't find it.